Dej Radio Australia, great to be here with the wonderful Terry for, of course, the Genius Zone. Great to see you here, Terry. Are you ready for this? Is going to be an unusual show. I normally want to jump in with a bit of enthusiasm, but this one, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know.
Well, Happy New Year. That's the first thing I would like to say. So regardless of circumstances or life or whatever, Happy New Year to everyone for the Genius Zone.
Yep.
And, I would like to welcome myself back.
You're officially welcomed by yourself. Nice work. I like that. Well, hey, that's some self-responsibility right there, okay? Yeah, don't rely on others. Way to go.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if you can't rely on yourself, who can you rely on?
Great point.
And so I just thought we'd do something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody talks about New Year's resolutions and what are they going to achieve for the new year ahead.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, Aaron, but I used to spend, a lot of my youth going, okay, this is going to be the year that I'm going to achieve this, or I'm going to have that car, or I'm going to get that house, or I'm going to have that relationship, or, it was all like that. And then when I became a coach, it was more, well, I've got this.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this in the bag now. I know what to do. And until, your bubble gets a bit burst.
You know what to do until you don't.
You know what to do until you don't. Exactly. So this is all about the fact that New Year's resolutions don't work. They don't work.
They really don't. Well, I mean, maybe for about 0.1% of the population. For the rest of us, it's a big old F on that one. So, okay, have you got a better idea?
Well, my idea kind of comes on the heels of a crisis, where I believe that crisis had demonstrated to me that, you know what, if we are going to achieve something, so I'm just going to go something really big and broad here.
Okay.
So let's imagine you want to be the president. Okay, you want to be the new president. I mean,
there's a list of things I want in life. I'm not sure if that's one of them. No,
okay.
I mean, look, I think I'd do pretty well.
Okay,
but,
I think you would too.
Yeah, I'll give it a red hot go.
Yeah, especially up against what we're, like the Prime Minister. I'm not going to say that. That was terrible.
Oh, look, I think, honestly,
we're going to go into jail.
I think a sloth could do a better job than Anthony Albanese.
So we won't. That's I wasn't really going to go down that path, but I totally hear you. And let's face it, I would not like to be him. No. He would be probably the last person on the planet that I would want to be. But let's just say someone had this, inspiration and this really strong desire that they did want to take over and they wanted to be the Prime Minister.
Sure.
I mean, that's a great kind of a goal, and so be it. If that's your goal, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
However, if you are going to create a goal and you can't build a castle on a sand dune.
No, you can't.
So, and you've really got to be in the situation where if you are going to be the Prime Minister or you are going to be the President, well, who do you need to become?
Well, the best version of yourself, obviously. But what you've just said before too about the sand castle or sand dune is foundations are everything. Right?
Yes.
It's the basis. You could build the most incredible structure in the world, but if it's on a swamp and it starts sliding down into the river, it's not much good to anyone.
It's a biblical principle, Aaron.
Oh, there you go.
It is actually
some good info in that book.
And you've got to be able to build what you want on solid ground. So I think for me personally, year in and year out, I mean, I remember, just to kind of address the elephant in the room here, so my husband passed away in November of last year, 2025, and the fact is that I said I made this kind of a wager with myself. I am not going to set myself up for more overwhelm, more disappointment, creating something that may be completely incongruent.
Okay.
And I think that's really what I want to talk about, congruence. So you've got to be congruent with the goal that you're building. So if you want to be the president, what does it take? What does it take to be the president? I mean, who do you become? I mean, you can't just turn up being a timid little pushover.
No, well, you're going to need a lot of self-confidence to start with. Absolutely, yeah. And you know, I mean, apart from some sort of distinctions like, you know, George W. Bush, you'd think a high intellect would be a good start as well. I tease. But you would have to be very, very smart, and you really do. You have to have competence, and you have to stand by your convictions. I think that would be a big part of who you'd have to be, right?
And those convictions, you know, we've got people like Erica Kirk who are getting a lot of flack at the moment because she's Charlie Kirk's widow, and you know they're doing a lot of, you know, who can tell the difference between AI, what's real and what's not real at the moment. So they've got to, you know, on the stage talking about Charlie Kirk's widow, who's in mourning, and she's kind of strutting across the stage doing like a Beyonce. And, you know, the fact is that a lot of that's just AI. But when you sit down, and the other thing they pick up is they're using her eyes.
Okay.
So her eyes, whether it is AI generated or whether it's real, she has a burning fire in her eyes. And it's it is a look that don't mess with me. Do not mess with me. But the girl has just lost her husband to who was fiercely assassinated.
Okay. You said before, elephant in the room, I'm going to be really harsh on you. We haven't talked about this, so sorry to throw this on you live, okay? But this comes down to perception of people who have, like, you've just lost a loved one. You've just lost, a man you've spent so many years with, a man you love so very much, okay? Now, perception of people and how they expect you to act, how they expect Erica to act.
Like expectation, exactly.
And I think a lot of people are very, I mean, I think they're unfair about, okay, what's your expectation? Are you supposed to wear black and just be in mourning for the rest of your life, right?
Exactly.
Or are you supposed to go out there, you know, like Erica Kirk, who's actually gone out and carried her husband's legacy. Right? Because it's not just his legacy. I mean, it's obviously a legacy that so many people are involved with, but he's obviously the figurehead of it.
She's the covenant. She was she was the wife. If you do the research, which I've just done, she is no longer his wife. Okay. So when a person becomes a widow, they biblically and legally, what happens is they were under the covering of their husband.
Sure.
And, you know, what a great covering. And Charlie Kirk had a lot to say about, you know, the marriage covenant and, you know, what that looked like. And then when they die, that goes under God's covering.
Okay.
So, well, this is what it said biblically, whether you want to believe it or not.
I think everyone's got a different opinion on this.
You know, there's going to be opinions and, you know, if you're talking in terms of this woman, I believe that she has become who she is as a result of the death of her husband.
Well, okay. She's felt, I'm going to assume, she felt the incredible pressure to step up and take as much of his role as possible. And I mean, and what a role, right?
Huge.
But again, this goes to everybody in life who's been in a situation where they've lost a loved one or they're put into a situation that where you need to step up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, balancing you stepping up to that level, also the expectation of others and the pressures that come from others.
Yeah.
And I think that, okay, coming into the new year, the whole idea of the New Year's resolution, which I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions myself, right?
Yep. I don't blame you.
I'm keen on, hey, it's a new year, I'm going to give this a crack, right? But not setting something in stone, or just, you know, basically a little attitude tweak rather than a particular set goal.
Well, you know, sometimes it takes a crisis to happen for us to really build solid foundations. And some people will go down and kind of like rotate into that, I guess, that dark night of the soul and stay there. And others will go, okay, how can I turn this into how can I transmute pain into power? And this is where suddenly this big lightning bulb kind of struck when I realized that, oh, that's what it is. You know, you want all these goals, Terry. You want to be able to create this incredible business to help the world, but you've got to be that person. You know, you can't go into a monkey's cage and as a lion. You know, you're not going to fit in.
No.
You're not really going to fit in. But you've got to be that person before you can say, well, if I'm going to be a president, if I'm going to be a prime minister, if I'm going to achieve this, who do I need to become? What are going to be the kind of value systems and the follow-up of who I am going to be in order to make that happen?
Now, I often throw out the term, and live by to a large extent, the old fake it till you make it, right? And I say that because not as far as being fake, but sometimes you have to elevate yourself to where you want to be. And by elevating yourself, you're basically pushing, a comment up that. Sorry, a comment just came up that I think someone's having a bit of a joke there. So I'll bring it up on the screen if I might, because
yes, why not?
Think it's
Come on,
someone pulling the Mickey out of the world that we live in at the moment. Okay. Now, whatever we've just said, apparently it's racist, right? So there we go.
Is it racist?
Yeah, well,
we said
thank
something
you, Tommy
racist?
Stewart, for that. I don't think we did. I think he's pulling the Mickey, or she's pulling the Mickey. I have no idea. If Tommy,
look, forgive me because I'm Burmese, and you know, I don't think I've got a racist bone in my body, but then maybe I do. Maybe I said something that was racist.
No, I don't believe so. I just think someone's having a bit of fun. Good on you, Tommy, for having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I think that's indicative of the world we live in at the moment.
Absolutely,
that people want to use
100%.
Language. So, I mean, look, apparently, words
words are our wand.
Well, words are very much our wand.
They're powerful. I mean, words are powerful.
Oh, now I see the comment that comes up. Let's go with that.
Okay, so, let's go with that.
All right, there we go. A monkey and a lion can be in the same cage. It's discrimination. Well, you know what?
Okay, I get that. Yes.
See, my answer to that, Tommy, would be, in that situation, it's not discrimination for the lion. It's lunch. Okay,
it's lunch.
It's lunch.
Yes,
yeah.
It could be, yes. But I guess the point that I'm driving home on that is a little thing which I learnt in neuro-linguistic programming, which is congruence.
Okay.
So you've got to be congruent with who you are and what you are doing. So if you are wanting to, create a goal, you do need to ask yourself, well, who am I going to become in order to make that goal happen? I mean, are you requiring more peace? Are you requiring more passion? Are you requiring more anger? It could even be that you need to get angry with the world.
Maybe you need a little fire in your belly. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. So fire in the belly, like, let's face it, a lot of people who are, visionaries and have created, and I say that as in they've already created it. So they've created great things in life. They had something that made their blood boil.
That's so true. I mean, I can speak of it in my own life. I can speak of so many people that I've known that they've had adversity or something that's gone that just spun their entire world, not 180, probably 360 and then some.
Yeah.
And they've got that's what's been their life-changing sort of event that's made them step up and maybe take a different path. Another comment coming through from Damo. Great to see you. Good evening as well, mate. Good to see you. It is the sexy Damien. Look at that. And there we go. I love a bit of self-promotion, mate. It's good on you.
Absolutely.
Got to do your own advertising.
Own
great.
it.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So I completely feel in terms of, the monkey and the lion, everybody's got their own strengths, but I think you've got to be able to go, well, as I'm standing here, because one of the biggest reasons that so many New Year's resolutions fall flat and things don't work out, like people go, I'm going to do that diet. I'm going to sign up and do that membership. I'm going to go to the gym every single day.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And then they don't.
No, they don't. Because, and also on New Year's, it's a big evening. There's a few of these going on. You might be a little overly confident about the next 12 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
However, you've really got to be looking at the fact that, okay, so for me personally, I don't want to set any New Year's resolutions because this is more about if I can become the person that I am called to become, then isn't that going to be easier to achieve my goals.
Agreed. Look, and going the easy route's not always the smart one.
No.
I mean, it's easy, so therefore it can be the path that most of us might travel. But at the same time, okay, tell me if I'm reading this wrong. I mean, I think just a lot of people set themselves up for failing because they just go, no, look, I'm going to set the bar up here, and they can't possibly achieve it, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, okay, you don't have to go to the top of the ladder. You can go, 2026, I can just take 2 runs, right? Okay, runs rather. Next year might take a couple more. Right? You can build on your life, and you can actually, improve yourself and I don't know.
You hit the nail on the head when you said you're setting yourself up for these expectations, and then your subconscious mind is going, you're never going to do that. You're not going to be able to lose.
Is that the little devil that sits on your shoulder?
Yeah, it's like that, so it moves us into procrastination.
Yeah, okay.
And that's when, and so many of us go, well, I'm going to set out and I'm going to achieve this and this and this and this. And then you're overwhelming your brain. So your brain is kind of doing this complete flip. And then, what's actually happening from there is going, I'm bailing. I'm out of here, right? But the fact is, if you can be completely on board with yourself. So let's just take let's go with weight management, shall we?
Okay.
Shall we pick on, because a lot of people
Can
want
I
that?
say maybe we'll go there, and I hate to interrupt you, but I've just seen Tommy's put a comment up there, which I'm not going to bring up on the screen, only because of the algorithms, mate. I actually will mention what you've said, because I think what you've said is really, really important. But let's face it, if I bring it up on the screen, that YouTube...
We're going to go in jail.
YouTube, we're going to have a fit.
We're going to be in jail.
Yeah, we don't
Facebook
want that.
Jail.
Now, Tommy's actually put, life's about getting a paycheck and keeping something out of your mouth, a product that could...
Got it.
Yep, you got it, Sus? All right.
I got it. Okay. Yep, all good.
So I want to say, look, Tommy, don't think that way, mate. And I know it's really easy for me to sit here and say that to you. I don't know your situation. But I can honestly say I've had the odd tough situation in my life, and I don't think anybody could ever accuse my life of being easy. So I get that, mate. I get that philosophy. I do. But that is a very, very negative place to be staying and to be living, and a mindset change would be probably a good thing.
In some ways, I might disagree with you on that,
okay,
because, maybe for Tommy it is about a paycheck and keeping that thing out of his mouth. But,
right.
I mean, the fact is that, a lot of people are just doing a 9-to-5 job.
Oh, they are.
And that's not a goal. So we're not talking a goal on that, Aaron. We're talking about a survival, livelihood, 9-to-5 job.
Okay, here's going to be my little answer on that. Okay, why survive when you can thrive? Right?
Okay,
that's
like that.
Okay. And I will also say, Tommy's put a comment about the fact that it's a Anchorman quote, and it is a good movie, mate. And stay classy, right? Absolutely love that. A big hello to Lisa. Lovely to see you there. Hello.
Hi, Lisa.
Very, very nice to see you. And haven't seen you since New Year's Eve, so it's been so long.
This is it.
Yeah, there we are.
I do have a question though. So one of the community did come in and say, well, Terry, if you are saying that you need to be or become the person before you achieve your goals. And remember, we're talking goals here. We're not talking livelihood.
Okay.
I mean, I think we are extremely blessed if we do get paid for what we love.
Yeah.
And we love what we do. I believe that is a massive blessing, right? And in terms of being able to really be able to become the person that you are called to be. And in the identity, this is the question that came through from my community. Somebody in my community said, so what you're saying is that I need to completely change my identity. And the question is, well, who are you anyway? Who are you? I mean, is that a question?
It's a great song.
So who are you? Identity is a really big word, and in someone like myself's actual situation, if I may say so, I have to change my identity because my identity has completely changed. Would you like me to explain?
The reason I've just gone silent for a moment because I'm having a pause.
I noticed that.
Yeah. I'm the pause of thought because I don't want you to change who you are. And what worries me on that one is like I was also questioning my brain. I'm thinking, okay, how much of Terry's identity has she tied to being a wife?
Well, it's not about being a wife, but if we bring it back to, okay, about the, subject of becoming who you are going to be, I find that, we all have reference points in life.
No
so
question.
this is not just about me. This is about everyone. You might have a dog. And if you spent hours a day with that animal, and you loved that animal, and then suddenly the animal died, it's like, well, what am I going to do in the morning now? And who's going to love on me at, when I get home from work? And who's going to wag their tail, when I've gone for 5 seconds and then, like it's like you've been gone for 5 years with that animal that loves you. So it's about reference points.
All right.
So, I remember my husband who passed away said, he lost his eldest brother. So he said that was a huge reference point because that brother, was placed there. So what happens is the whole map changes. So it's not really about being in a situation where you change your identity to the world. It's about who you are to yourself. Like, because you've got so many reference points of, I associate myself with this when it comes to making decisions about buying a house, or I associate myself with this when it comes to sitting down and watching Netflix at night, or I associate myself with this because, I'm going to book a holiday and go somewhere, and that person is no longer there. So what happens is it's like this puzzle that kind of gets thrown up. So all of a sudden you've got, where do I go from here? But the answer to that, if I can bring this to an audience of becoming who you are, it's about be who you want to be. So you've got to become the person who you want to be, because we are human beings. We're not human doings. And we get lost in the do. And I've got to do this. And I've done all these vision boards, but
I think society
none of them
puts
are
a lot of
working
pressure on us to do that sort of thing, right? And I'm not a vision board person, and we've talked about this many times before. It's just not me. But we all need to know our own currency, and for some people, that is the currency. That's the thing that inspires them, and that for me, it's absolutely not that way. But yeah, as you're saying these things to me, I'm running through my head. I'm like, I mean, in my life, I've got a very definite point, right? Like where I change as a human being. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a, I don't know, like a before Christ, after Christ,
Yes.
AD situation, right?
Because you'll never be the same
I will
again.
never be the same person I wasn't back in
Exactly.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, but you've also got to decide how much of that person, of the old person, and the spiritual, I don't know, the energy, the core of the person, the ethics of the person, the morals of that person, how much of that you want to bring with you.
Yeah. And could it be anyways that, a lot of regret and resentment and feelings come with, well, who am I now? It's a
good point.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I've got a lot of resentment.
This is it. But if we can turn this around, so let's turn this around so we can turn it into, really becoming the person that you, I guess, I don't know whether need to be is the right word, Aaron, because
what about
need
want to be?
or want to be, but it's about becoming the person that you require to be if you want to attain these great things. So what's that going to take? And, I know for myself, it's really a case of when you meet with crisis and when you meet with, life challenges, that's when you can strip back all the rubbish. That's when you can delete and dissolve all the things that maybe once upon a time used to ruffle your feathers, but now it's like, meh. And you know what I mean?
Can you basically say that again? Because I reckon you've hit a really good point here. Because you can either, when big things like that happen in your life, you could decide to sort of live in that, okay, and just be stuck in the mud of that. Or you can go, oh, wow, how much time have I wasted on this event, that event? Like a very wise thing. I mean, this is, been said a million times. It was said to me years ago that it was, again, something changed me is, like, why are you letting that person live rent-free in your head?
Exactly.
And it's so bloody true. In the moment you either do two things, okay, you can evict them or start charging the money for that space that they're renting.
Yeah.
It's quite liberating, isn't it?
It is very, very liberating. So if we bring it back to our audience, and I ask you, and I'm going to ask you the question, so can I kind of pose this in a way so you're not put in the hot seat, and we'll do that another day.
Okay.
Okay, so if you were to consider what is, and we'll close on kind of this because I know that we've gone way over time.
That's okay.
If you were to have the one goal of your dreams that you want to attain this year, and I'm going, left field here instead of right, what would it be? What is your number one goal? And this is where, what is the reason you want that? Why do you want that? And, if you lost everything else outside of that goal, would that goal still be important?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, that's the one, that's the very thing. And this is where I'm driving at, because when you understand what is really important to you, not, oh, I think it's important, I would like to have that little Ferrari. I'd like
I'm a Porsche man. We've covered this. Okay?
I'd like to have the, windows down, wind in my hair, the sound of the engine.
I just want the hair.
Yeah. He just wants the hair. And do you know why you want the hair?
Because I don't have it anymore.
Exactly.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And this leads me into, you want what you perceive you haven't got.
That's right, which is quite frankly links into Tommy's comment that I haven't popped up on the screen there, but that's maybe something that Tommy's he's got, and he's working, mate. And it's good to see you're working towards your goal, mate. I appreciate that very much. For those who are watching this later, look in the comment section, have a bit of a giggle, because it is important to have goals, mate. And if you want my thoughts, well, that's a whole other show.
Yes, we do. Nobody, look, disclaimer, I am definitely not saying don't create goals. What I am saying is make sure that the person, check yourself, check in with yourself and make sure, am I the person who's going to be the president of Venezuela? I'm just joking. Am I the person who is going to be that level of the goal that I want to attain? And the chances are, I don't know about you, Aaron, but I know for me, I failed miserably. There is no way. I was not that person. And really? I was being taught out of other people's doctrines.
Yeah, okay.
And I was being taught out of other people's expectations and maybe my own, but they didn't come back to my true value system.
Uh-huh.
And, when you can really get very, very clear with your goals, and I think that's the biggest element here, is that the reason people do not attain their goals is because they're not clear enough about it. Like that person who wants to lose weight.
Yep.
But if someone had a shotgun against their little girl's head and they said, you know what, I'm going to give you your little girl back, but you need to lose 10 kilos.
Jeez, that's a tough campaign, to put it mildly. Good to see so many lovely comments coming through and all of that. Do you know what? This is a great opportunity just to throw this forward. If you would actually like to catch Edge on the run, get onto edgeradioaustralia.com, which is our website. You can listen from there, or you can grab our app and you can listen with the app anywhere in the world, obviously from website as well. But if you want to talk to Terry and you want to get some of this wonderful insight and sort of really, look, work on your life and getting the best getting the best value for you, where can we find you, Terry?
Well, you can go to terrymessenger.com or just find me on socials. But I think what's really, really, really important here is that, I would like to say, would you like to come onto the show? Would you like to actually sit in the hot seat right here and get shot down in flames by Aaron and the rest of the – no,
Tough
seriously. Would you like to sit in the hot seat and actually discover what your true why is? Because that could be the biggest reason that you're just not getting what you want.
Here's the thing. Edge is not about your typical corporate media. We don't care about propaganda. We don't care about selling narratives. Actually, you know what we want to do? I'll certainly speak for myself. I'm about improving people's lives and giving people a voice. And I think this is a great opportunity. Terry's throwing that out. That's a wonderful initiative you've got there, Terry. And if you want to invite people up, look, there are more spots on the couch. Trust me.
Would you like to jump on
Why not?
Would you like to jump on the hot seat? Would you like to really know what it is that you truly want? And then would you like to attain that goal as a result that you aligned it with your true values?
Sounds good. Hey, Tommy's already said yes. So, Tommy, get on to us. Send us an email there at info@edgeradioaustralia.com and we'll get the thing going, mate. Simple as that. Thank you very much for being part of the show. We do have to get out of here, and I just want to thank Terry very much for coming in. And I realise, it's been a very full-on few weeks for you. Life has changed a lot for you.
Yes.
And sending big love your way because you're pretty awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Simple as that. All right. Thank you very much for being part of the Genius Zone here on Edge Radio Australia.